on regular radio.
Of course, any of the random events that just seem to come up, like, Lauren said, one of the interesting things that happens from our side is targets aren't usually picked, they all stand up and raise their hand and ask to be a problem. They ask for our attention.
That is the perfect segue for where we're going to be going next.
Yeah, so
because that's what we do.
That's how that works.
Now I'm ready to start another protest there, Heather, right?
Right?
You know who I'm going to protest,
yeah, definitely.
Right? We're going to occupy
Keenan.
some. Yeah.
We're occupying Keenan.
And it's like,
and this one,
I didn't pick him.
Really.
He picked himself. He raised his hand.
He stood up and said, "Could you please come bother me?"
Yeah.
And we're gonna, because this is some bullshit. This is some crazy, crazy shit.
I think he just needed some attention, really.
I think that's what it is.
Perhaps.
I think he feels ignored.
Before we go, though, go into that, I
absolutely.
want to make sure that we acknowledge these guys over here. And I think what we're going to do is have you guys back as maybe a recurring segment to talk about some more of this activism as it happens.
Please, will you both come back?
Sounds
Absolutely.
Let's hear it for Gregg.
Yeah, seriously. So much fun.
That was awesome. Awesome. I mean, dude, we're like out of time.
Well,
I know, we have more time in the show, but we could go longer.
That's why we're going to have him back.
Yeah. So before we let you go, where can people get in touch with you directly? Like if someone wants to be working with you or checking all your activism, what's the best way to get in touch with you, or what kind of things would you throw out there?
So for people that aren't concerned about operational security, they can find me on Twitter at Splendid Spoon, like Splendid Spoon, but no underbars or anything like that.
Easy.
And anyone who is a little more concerned and wants to do something OTR, they can reach me at splendidspoon@jabber.ccc.d. They would know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
they would know about that.
Yeah, they know what that is. So.
Excellent.
Cool. And I mean, for OTR, for me, it's the same thing. I'm just Gregg at GHC. So GREGGATGHC is the letters. That's my Gmail, that's my GChat, and on GChat I use OTR, so we can do that nice and encrypted if you want. Contact me whenever you feel like it.
Awesome.
Right on.
Yeah.
Can't
wait to have you guys
so
back,
much.
too.
Yeah, this is a great conversation,
was.
and it's something, like I said, that needs to continue because it keeps happening, and you guys are putting yourself out there in a big way, and we respect that.
And
very
we really
much on the show.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
all the work that you're doing for all of us.
Indeed. But hopefully, maybe you guys will stick around for our because this guy we do need a little targeting on this guy.
Oh boy.
Senator Keenan calling for tightening medical marijuana law and delaying the implementation. And he's going after question 3, the will of the voters, 63% statewide. And he's trying to take it down.
This guy is
Has he given an actual reason? Does he have any
I'm going to get in that.
Yeah.
There's so many of these politicians, right, that I try to work with. And we work with them. And sometimes but when they raise their hand, like Gregg said, you have to hit them. And this guy, I'm just going to say, is acting like a jackass. When he campaigned against medical marijuana, his first statement was, "There is no such thing as medical marijuana."
Yep.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
in this day and age, are you kidding me? I was a wrestler. I have a bad back for 15 years. I'm not on Oxycontin. I'm not on pills. There's only one thing that I use, and it's medicine.
Yeah, this is the quote from this article, and this is on the Braintree patch. But it basically is the senator he's trying to introduce new legislation to delay the implementation of question 3 and to put new quote unquote safeguards against quote unquote abuse. So
and the safeguards are to just get rid of the law completely.
To basically get rid of the will of the voters and everything. I mean, people knew what they were voting for.
And he's playing
they voted. You know, we don't say, oh well, we're gonna oust this president. Well, I guess we did that. 2004. But yeah, so let me
I want you
this.
to read the quotes because I want to get into what he actually means. Because these politicians will say one thing, but they paint it another way. I'm going to tell you, just like a Barrett Brown would, what it actually means.
Yeah. So here we go. Quote, I believe strongly that the provisions of question 3 create a rushed and haphazard policy, Keenan said in the email message to colleagues. The introduction of medical marijuana in Massachusetts poses challenges, as would the introduction of any new addictive substance that is untested in medical practice.
Wait, marijuana is not addictive. Physically not addictive.
And it's not untested in
Some
medical
people could have a
practice
problem,
either.
but it's not addictive. Yeah, and it's not.
And
you're
it's
right.
not untested in medical practice. Continue. And the creation of a new multi-million-dollar industry with statewide impacts. Yet the ballot question
Wait, we don't want jobs?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
Yet the ballot question is not accompanied by any meaningful regulations
really?
or safeguards against abuse.
Wait. Number one, you have to have a doctor's recommendation. Isn't that a safeguard against abuse?
Absolutely.
And number two, marijuana is already illegal and people are using it?
Yes.
And the government's never stopped anyone that wants to use it from using it? What the hell is he talking about? Let's get more into what the actual bill means, though. Like, what he is trying to do, because he tells you, he spells it out in this press release.
The new bill would, number one, create a distinction between adults and minor patients requiring parental consent for minors to be prescribed and to use marijuana. I mean, that seems reasonable. I can't really argue with that.
That part is the only part that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. I
and
feel
that would
like
probably
it would
be dealt with
anyway.
That would be dealt with by the Department of Public Health.
Yeah, clearly.
Regulations that are going to be set up, I guarantee you. And he could have input on that. And, you know, basically he says
most medications.
Yeah, he's basically
it's just a way to
make it look good.
Yeah,
to make it look palatable and make it look like that wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
he's playing a game.
Yes.
Yep.
He's saying there are no regulations because the regulations haven't formally been written. Some of them are already existing.
There's no way that people are just going to be like prescribing weed to kids. That doctors are going to be. First of all, you need a parental consent to see a doctor to begin with. So it's a redundant.
Yeah, what kid is
totally
going to get it without a parent?
It's
anyways, with the money. So he's being misleading.
Right, definitely.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, number two, establish a secure two-tiered distribution system.
What the hell does this mean?
I have absolutely no idea. That removes retail marijuana shops from local communities and eliminate the need for home cultivation.
Okay, let's stop right there. So basically, this guy.
How do you propose
number
to do
one,
that?
there is no retail. The dispensary's a
so
non-profit.
there's nowhere to buy it,
it's
and they can't grow it at home. So where?
I know.
What
is the state going to do it?
Two-tiered?
I know. Is the state going to? I mean, basically, he's painting the picture that the state is going to actually run the distribution system, which is a bunch of bullshit because Massachusetts passed a law with Governor Weld how many decades ago that basically is the law that he's trying to pass now. And you know what that law was basically? That the state would run a medical marijuana program for the patients when the feds allowed them to do so and supplied them with the marijuana. I mean, this is a box canyon. This means it goes nowhere. They pass a law that does nothing. That's what this guy is trying to do. He's trying to end medical marijuana in Massachusetts. He's basically
where are they going to get the marijuana then? Where are they supposed to get it?
The state's going to grow it.
You can't cultivate it at home, but you can't. So are they? Where's going to be the distribution centers? How are low-income people or folks that don't have access, don't have transportation, going to get to these distribution centers?
That will never exist. That will never exist. That will never exist. The state of Massachusetts will never grow marijuana because it's not allowed by federal law. We know this.
It's ridiculous.
So he's lying.
Yep, completely.
He's playing a shell game.
It's totally vague.
And what else does he say about the patients? That he's, I care about the patients, but he doesn't at all.
Yeah, well, the next thing the new bill would do would require that marijuana prescriptions be reported in the state's prescription monitoring program, which helps physicians identify warning signs of addiction.
Oh, wait. You know who else gets to look at that?
The government?
The
federal
DEA.
government. Yep.
The DEA gets to look at that database.
Yep, gets your name.
Mike Cann uses marijuana. He's an activist. Let's go raid his house. Here's his address. He's official. We got a reason to go look in his house.
Because of the serious addiction potential that, they're just trying to protect you.
Come on.
Right? That's unbelievable. And that's going to have a chilling effect on patients. It's gonna
I don't want to be on that list.
No, of course not. If that's what it entailed, just go back to buying it from your guy down the street.
Are you going to be able to work a job? Are they going to the employer's going to have access to that database?
It's going to become part of the Corey check. I mean, what is this?
I know. And there's no marijuana. Like, who's going to do that when there's no marijuana?
Yeah.
If you don't have a dispensary and you don't have grow your own caregivers, where's the marijuana coming from? Two-tier? What the hell is he talking about?
And if you were just reading this, it would almost seem kind of reasonable if you weren't able to read between the language and the linguistic tricks.
And you know what's really frustrating about these articles? There was another article that came out too. Massachusetts Municipal Association head. The guy is I'm calling him a jackass too. I don't care. I called him. I left a voicemail. He didn't return my call. I said, were you misquoted in the paper? Because you're saying that dispensary is going to be open in the next 3 months, which is ridiculous. They wouldn't be open for like a year and a half, 2 years. This is like the newspapers aren't reporting the other side. The Phoenix is, a lot of these other independents are, but the local newspapers, they're not reporting our side of it, which is the truth. And we need to get on it. We need to stage a protest. We need to come back at this, Senator Keenan. We need to show the media that we're pissed off. 63% voted for this, and now this guy is trying to invalidate it. And don't think it will go anywhere at the State House.
This needs to be our next big rally, our next big event.
But he is very influential. This guy is very. I just want to.
Are we on board?
Yeah. Before we do that, I want to say, I don't think it will go anywhere. But this man is very influential. He's a state senator. Used to be a state rep. It means he's got friends in the party that is in power, the Democrats. He is influential. He could get some votes out for this. We have to be careful. We have to go after him. We have to be so strong about this to make sure that
you aren't
the media...
in that position without people owing you favors as well, so whether they agree with you or not.
Yeah.
And this article goes on to be even more misleading because it quotes Colorado and California, which again are totally different systems than the one outlined in question 3 for Massachusetts. So it's saying 17 other states and Washington D.C. have also legalized marijuana use. First of all, it's medical marijuana, but anyway.
Yeah.
And many have since struggled with the safe implementation of medical marijuana programs. In Colorado, studies have found that between 48 and 74% of surveyed youth in recovery programs, quote unquote, they got caught and now they're going to rehab because instead of jail. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, if that was your choice.
And have used another person's medical marijuana, and drug trafficking cases in at least 14 other states have traced illegal marijuana back to Colorado dispensaries. Colorado's law was not a very good law. We made sure to learn from that, and same with California. They quote Scott Imler, who was one of the authors of the law that legalized medical marijuana in 1996, and he says that
I think it was a good law. I think the problem with California, right, is the cities and towns had the choice to zone and regulate, and they chose not to do anything. They were too frightened to piss off the voters.
Really?
So they did nothing, and there was no regulation. In the state of Mass, we've left it to the states to regulate, and then the cities and towns will regulate it. It works itself out eventually. We have to make sure that, as you said, Heather, that is a one-sided piece. Those quotes that you're reading, our information isn't in there. We have to get our information. The way we do it is to narrate the story, is to do a protest. We need to come out strong. I don't know the date yet, but are we in agreement? We're going to do a protest?
Yeah, let's do it, and I want these guys there with us.
Would you guys support the medical? What do you think, Greg?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm an interesting candidate here, as Lauren knows. I have never even had a sip of alcohol in my life, let alone a single puff off a cigarette or any drugs.
That's
nothing.
Okay. That's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah, and the deal here, though, is that I believe medical marijuana is absolutely a necessity. There are people over here on the side that don't do any of that.
Absolutely.
That also agree that there are medical reasons for it.
Exactly, of course.
And that's the point we're at. I mean, 63% voted for this. There's only probably 10% who use it. So think about it. The large majority don't use it and agree and are sitting right where you are, Greg.
Yep.
And this state senator just said, "Fuck you. We don't care about your compassion.
Yep.
We don't care what you voted for. We got to get active. It's not a time to be complacent. We've gone very far in this little medical marijuana movement, but now we have to take action."
Yeah, and we're it's another week, another packed week over again.
So you guys have said his name kind of off to the side a little here and there, but could you give his full name and his position?
State John Keenan, and he is,
Democrat,
I believe, from
Quincy.
Yeah.
Quincy's always been a thorn in our side with this shit. I mean, they tried with question 2. They were one of the first towns to hold those public use fines and stuff. How are those going, by the way, Quincy? How did those
they raised the fine.
Oh, they did?
Methuen didn't.
Yeah, but has anyone been giving out fines?
Probably very few.
Yeah, come on.
It's all politics, playing games for press, and we'll play it back if he wants to raise his hand.
And we know how to play
And his
this
name
game.
and his information is on the website, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Senator John Keenan.
I definitely wouldn't ever ask anyone to do anything illegal. No one should be taking that information and using it for anything nefarious. No one.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Never.
not.
Never.
Yeah, Senator
State
Keenan.
Senator John Keenan.
Yep, from Quincy.
I would hate to get home tonight and find, some kind of a paste bin that had a lot more information about him in it. That would really upset me.
I wonder if he ever smoked marijuana.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Before we go, we do have to plug a couple things. Raw rolling papers. This is they've helped us out big time at the station, giving us tons of free samples. There's a raw rolling papers rolling tray giveaway on Unregular Radio Facebook page. Check that out. Enter to win. We also are working with GYOstuff.com. It's where they're actually paying me money now to work over there at that store. So we're going to be promoting them a lot more. It's a great store. We love them. We're going to be giving away some gift certificates upcoming. If you're a grower and you're interested in winning that gift certificate, you can give us a call right now or maybe next week or the following week. We're going to be working a lot more with them. We want to, again, thank everybody. Carmelita, thank you for getting us Jimmy Kim Tingle, and thank you for creating the show and being our, what do we call her? Our backbone, right?
Our
glorious leader?
Glorious leader.
Yeah, there you go.
She's
our muse, our inspiration.
Yeah, she keeps us focused.
It's true. And we had a good focused show today.
Yeah, we did.
My Cann.
And thank you, Heather Mack.
Aww.
I love you, Heather.
High five. Can we say
Heather
like
Mack,
high five?
awesome.
And Lauren and Greg and Jimmy Tingle and Garrett and all of our friends here in the studio.
And Rob Kaufman.
Yep.
Always does a great show for us.
Always doing a great job.
The man, Rob Kaufman, check his show
Thank
out.
you.
Yeah. You don't hear him much, but the dude he's got the shit going on in his show.
Wisely.
He is the man. He's so good he doesn't have to say anything on our show.
It's true. We do plenty of talking anyway between the two of us.
And KC Hoy for taking pictures today. Spencer for helping out. And Garrett, you have to say something. You've been sitting here. This man is the man. He's an activist. We're over time, but what did you think about this show today?
I just think it's, really good that we're addressing, First and Fourth Amendment issues. When it comes down the line, anybody should be able to support, your right to spread information through the press, where the press is supposed to dig. If there's information, the point of the press is to dig it up and put it out there. As Kennedy said, you can't have a free society if you have all these damn secrets.
Yeah.
So just get out there, support anyone who's going to fight for the First Amendment. Support anyone's right to be, not molested without a warrant in their persons, possessions, papers. You don't have to identify yourself. Support the Fourth Amendment first. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's it, because you know what? There's so many false information that goes out there through the major media and the front people, and now you got real activists doing it, and we have to support that. That's what this show is about today.
Yep.
Linking up and working together.
Yep, making a difference. And we got all sorts of activism coming up. We got to get more on the Senator Keenan stuff, so we'll be doing this in the next few weeks and checking back in with Lauren and Greg.
And check out our Facebook page. Yes. Check in, because we're going to be posting a lot of links, a lot of news, a lot of information. We'll be back next week.
Yep, 2 Hotheads once again on regularradio.com.
Thank you.
Unregular Radio.